Hello and welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning. I am still your host, Tony Gerdeman. For today is June 16th, Friday, a wonderful Friday. 79 days until Indiana, 163 days until the Michigan game. I am joined today by Marc Givler. Today this has been a busy week of camps, and Thursday may have been the busiest week of camps because of the spectacular quarterbacks and the pretty spectacular running backs, and I think that's pretty much what we'll focus on today. Just to give you some names of the running backs. Has Torrey Blaylock been offered yet? Do we know that yet?
I believe so.
Okay, so he's a four-star from Texas. So you had Torrey Blaylock here. You had Marquise Davis. These are all 2025 guys. Marquise Davis also with an offer from, he's here in Ohio. Where is he from, Mark?
Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland Heights because of the helmet. And then, of course, Bo Jackson, also from Ohio. All have offers. But I think the quarterbacks were what kind of surprised us because these weren't names we had on our list, but then they just kept showing up.
Right. Yeah, it was by far the best quarterbacks group they've had so far this month. And I think it will be difficult to top that here. Yeah. They've got one day, and then they've got a 7-on-7 next week. The 7-on-7 is supposed to attract some pretty good ones, but I don't know that we're going to see a better group than we saw today. Ryan Montgomery threw in the morning. He had a basketball obligation. I believe that's the only reason they were down here was because of some basketball things that he has going on this summer. But he threw in the morning. Tony, you saw a good bit of him, I think, in the morning.
Yeah, I saw him and Tavian Sinclair throwing in the morning, and then others that we'll get into. But, yeah, these two guys, they get bigger, they get stronger every time you see them, and the arm is there as well. So it was good to see him throw, and we'll get to see him, like you said, again, the 7-on-7. Yeah, he's just always solid. I don't know that he was the best one I saw today. I think that, for me, that was probably Sinclair. And I don't know, is that the case with you as well?
It's staggering how different Tavian Sinclair is 12 months from when we saw him at almost 12 months to the day, almost a year to the day, we saw him here at a 7-on-7. The physical developments, like he just must have woke up in December and said, you know what, I'm going to spend my entire winter in the weight room. He's put on like 30 pounds. It's all good weight. Yeah. We noticed it first at Elite 11 in Massillon. It was super noticeable. What was also noticeable, his consistency, whether it's accuracy, consistency of spinning it, spotting it correctly, just footwork even. Everything is just up 2 or 3 notches from a year ago. And then you go look at his film, his interceptions, I think were cut more than in half from first year to last year. So the decision-making is greatly improved. A year ago today, I would have said Tavian Sinclair is somewhere between maybe 11 and 20 in Ohio. I won't spoil the 25 rankings. There aren't 3 better players, prospects in Ohio right now.
No, and he's got the big arm. He shows the accuracy. It's a good-looking football. He's athletic. He can move around. Just the first time I saw him in person was last year at 7-on-7, and it's like, well, he's going to have to grow, or he's going to have to, improve. And he looks like a completely different person. Like the guy I saw last year, that's not him. He's a different human being, and you could see all of the work that he has put in day after day. And you can say the same thing for Ryan Montgomery. Yep. They continue to get bigger, stronger, and you can just see that they change you see him every couple of months, and they're a different person each time. But yeah, he's much different, and you can just see the confidence in him as well, because he's seen the results more than anybody, I think.
It was kind of a funny observation as I was walking in and he was out there throwing. With the added weight and the way he has his hair now, from a distance, sorry Ohio State fans, maybe plug your ears right now, looks like Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
So I walked in And I said to one of our colleagues, I was joking, I said, hey, there's Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
He's back.
He's
coming back.
Yeah,
he's
going
to beg his way back into the class.
Yeah.
But he just, I can't remember a quarterback in Ohio especially, because I can't speak for like every quarterback ever, but like in the state of Ohio, since I've been doing this over the last 15 years, I cannot remember a quarterback from summer of sophomore to summer of junior year who made such a physical leap. I really can't. Like, even like I look back on like guys like Braxton Miller. Braxton was like a horse as a freshman. Like, there just wasn't this just insane physical progression. Like, Drew Aller got a lot better. His body didn't change that significantly. He was always a big athletic kid. He just got better fundamentally. Like, it's wild.
Well, and I had somebody maybe on the message board a couple of weeks ago saying, how do you see Tavian St. Clair's rankings go? And I said, it's probably going to be like Drew Aller. It's just he's going to end up as a 5-star. We were talking about that out on the field today. Yeah. Like, is that going to shock you if that happens?
No.
I think it just takes the networks to actually pay attention to him.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know what he has going on here. I didn't talk to him after camp. Kevin did. I don't know what he's got going on here the rest of the summer, if that'll change. And I don't know how many of these guys are going to go out to Bell Fountain and we will, but like nationally, I just don't know. But I think if you're a national guy or a regional guy, if you haven't seen him in 6-12 months, you are going to be, you're not going to recognize him.
Yeah, it's not the group of 5 prospect that maybe he was a year ago. Like, he's legitimately a Power 5, big time Power 5, and I assume he's going to take all of it. Wherever he wants to visit, he could get an invite, basically.
Yeah, and the SEC offers are starting to roll in. This might be a skull session episode, but it's like, I'll just leave it at this and we can move on. I think Ohio State has some really interesting and difficult decisions to make with their 2025 quarterback recruiting, not just in the state of Ohio, but beyond with Bryce Underwood. And that's probably another episode that maybe Kevin and I can talk about here this week. But these are not, they're first world problems, but they're not going to be easy decisions, and they may come with some criticism from fans.
Yeah. Well, in 2026, maybe picking up here as well, based on what we saw today from Will Griffin.
Yep. Yeah.
Who's you look at him and he could be like a staffer, like helping. Like he's the former college quarterback that has come back to help, and he's a 2026 guy. Yeah. And that to me, you look at him, he's like, oh, I bet his dad is like a strength coach or something, a football coach. And then he threw it, and it was windy in the morning. He was cutting through it better than St. Clair, better than Montgomery. It was zipping it, and he was very impressive.
On pure velocity, I thought he had the strongest arm. He's just such a strong kid, strong upper body, strong lower body, strong core. Like you said, was just zipping it around. Actually showed some really nice touch here out when they started doing one-on-ones on a few downfield throws, but made some throws on those deep outs that were just right on the money. He's inside right now, I think. So this will probably go up afterwards.
Right.
I think they're going to offer him. We'll see. Could be wrong. I think they're probably going to offer him. Tampa Jesuits a great program, so we've been down there a few times on Southern Swing, so probably down there in the next spring to see him. But he was tremendous as well.
Other 2026 quarterbacks that they've offered to help you, like Juju Lewis, is that?
Yeah, and that's going to be
a national.
That's going to be a national battle, and Ohio State at some point is going to have to maybe decide whether they want to participate in that sweepstakes or not. So it's pretty wide open right now if you're a 26 guy.
The other 2025 guy,
Ty Hawkins.
I would ask him to gray shirt.
Yes.
And then be the 2026 quarterback.
Ty Hawkins out of San Antonio, Texas was up here. He's got 13 offers. Got Oregon recently. He's going to LSU here soon. He had a tremendous day as well. He's a little shorter than some of the other guys, but also more of a dual threat than some of the other guys. Can really move. Really strong, accurate arm. So that's a kid that's going to go somewhere big time to play football. It just, will it be here? My guess would be no, but great prospect. When that's your third or fourth best prospect at the camp, that's insane.
Yeah. And you mentioned problems earlier, first world problems. Let's talk about the running backs, the 2025 running backs, because we saw Jordan Davison earlier this week, number 5-star running back 2025. Bo Jackson, Marquise Davis, both from Ohio, both offers. They were both here today. They both certainly looked the part. You can't watch Bo Jackson for like any amount of time and just be like, that guy. He could play defense. He could play receiver. He could play running back. Just give him the ball or send him towards the ball, and he's going to do just fine. How do you? And Marquise Davis was very good as well, and running routes, and he was successful. But like if Jordan Davison decides, hey, I want in, then is it like, hurry up, somebody else?
Yeah.
Better? I mean, how do you? That's certainly a upper echelon first world problem.
My guess would be, if Jordan Davison beats everyone to the punch, that whether it's Jackson or Davis, personally I think it's Jackson, but you call your top Ohio kid and say, look, like, we're not saying you got to do this like tonight, but you don't have long. Like, we'll give you a couple weeks, take some other visits if you need to, if you feel you need to do that, but like, we got top 100 running backs just pounding on our door right now, and they need running backs.
Yeah.
Even with this big class they're bringing in, they got to have bodies. So it's a good problem to have. It's a better problem than they had previous years where they're like, oh my gosh, how are they going to get a running back?
But you may still have the same problem with NIL coming in late and taking somebody away. So it's like you choose one of the Ohio running backs, you still have to keep the other guy warm,
Right.
Because who knows what happens, and you may need that guy to come back into the fold.
But I also think that's why you try and get one of the Ohio running backs in like right away, because those are guys going to be a little safer.
Yeah.
So you want to get one in the barn, and then, I joked on the message where someone was asking me about this, and I said, take 2 years in a row.
I mean,
now, good luck convincing whoever number 3 is to come into a class with, Bo Jackson and Jordan Davison in it already. I mean, that could be.
I think I said somewhere that probably the last time they took 2 years in a row would have been like early 90s, when you could just do that, because you're running the ball 50 times a game and you need the bodies. So that's quarterbacks, running backs. For me, the most entertaining portion of the day came at the end, where it was running backs versus linebackers and one-on-ones, and the trash talk between Jim Knowles and Tony Alford. Tony Alford was just tearing the linebackers apart, and so then it became a competition of 10 reps of just little one-on-one drills, and whoever lost would have to do 10 up-downs, 12 up-downs, because the linebackers got cocky. And so I think the running backs were up like 9-6 at one point, and the linebackers came back to win. And so Jim Knowles was having a good old time, and Tony Alford was not. But he also, Knowles kept telling him, and Marc Pantoni's like, Alford, you got to do them too. He's like, I'm not doing up-downs. I'm the coach. But so you never know what you're going to see.
So they were writing a check that they didn't have to cash themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So the linebackers backed it up. Took them a little while.
It's like
but
gambling with someone else's money.
Wow, it's the best kind of gambling.
We better win this better. You're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. That's well.
That's lame.
It was fun to watch. There's always something interesting showing, people, whether people you weren't expecting to show up, people you're surprised that, like for me, you follow this, so you've heard of everybody. Like me, I'm like, who is this guy? And it's Will Griffin. He now has an offer, and he's going to be a national 2026 quarterback recruit. Everybody's going to be talking about him in 2 years, or 1 year, or 2 months. Anything else from today?
I thought we really hit the 2 big things. This was, look, there were good players at other positions. We'll get in more on the website, but the story of today was the star-studded quarterback and running back rooms, no question. Yeah,
I would agree. So be sure to check out Buckeye Huddle for all of the coverage from Thursday's session. Got a couple of sessions next week, one camp and one 7-on-7. So we'll be compiling and writing and producing videos and podcasts just like this one. So if you're watching on YouTube.com, go to YouTube.com, Buckeye Huddle. Subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and hit the bell to be notified. Hit the thumbs up. And also now, this is June, a fantastic time to become a member of Buckeye Huddle if you have not yet. we are there on the message board, and you can always hit us up there. You got questions about team, questions about recruiting, questions about Kevin's shoes, anything like that. We are there to answer or ridicule, sometimes both. So that will do it for today from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week.